We were standing in the main lobby, for those who remember the fountain. There was a big fountain there in the main lobby, and all of a sudden I heard this splash, and my 8-year-old son had managed to kind of trip over the lip of the fountain and was sort of half in the fountain, all wet at that moment. And I said, "Well, Matt, I think you're going to be the first person ever to fall in that fountain. Maybe not the last, but you have the distinction of being the first."
You can tell, one story is before we moved in was just how much space we thought we were going to have. We were helping to stock the new unit, and we would go up every day and think, wow, we have so much room, because the old unit was so tight. I mean, it was such a crowded unit. We could barely get all of the equipment in it. We thought we had so much room in the new unit, and we didn't. So that was pretty entertaining.
The night before the move, I took my family to the new hospital, and I was walking around showing them, here are all the different things. We were in the lobby, and it was kind of exciting, and nobody else really was there at the time, so there was this amazing feeling of, this is kind of a shell right now, but as of tomorrow, it becomes a hospital, and it will be the children's hospital from here on.
But we were really excited to move and get into the new facility.
On the day of the move, I remember pulling up and seeing all of these Gold Cross ambulances lined up at the main entrance of the hospital. And you knew this was an incredible moment.
And I really remember the first patient coming over. It was a patient everyone knew very well, and he was awake enough and alert enough that he could smile and wave at the cameras. And he came through the doors, and everybody was cheering. I think everyone cheered as he arrived in the ambulance and cheered when he came into the unit. It was really pretty exciting.
Watching the sun come up and watching that first ambulance roll up with that very first patient, it just was really, like they described, it was kind of our motto then, a sense of pride. And it gave me a sense of pride in this whole beautiful big building, which we were soon to outgrow, but it was really neat.
So I got to bring the second patient that came over from the old hospital to the new hospital that night. And I came with one of our attendings in an ambulance. I remember being kind of nervous because I was taking care of a relatively sick patient, and I hadn't done much of that, being so new.
The feeling on that day was, we're finally to this exciting point we had planned for so long that this was going to happen. It was really amazing to be at the point where now it's actually happening, and to watch those first patients arriving at the new hospital.
I think it didn't really hit me until the last patient had left the building, and I had the opportunity to walk through the building, and I had worked there for 14 years at that time. Had spent my whole career as a nurse there, had really grown up, so to speak, there. And as I walked through the halls that were empty, I just remembered a lot of the patients that I had cared for there on several different floors.
I was surprised at how badly I felt leaving the old deserted ER and its small 6 or 7 beds, I can't remember how many, that were left. And I just had this feeling that it was the start of something big and we'd never go back to where we were.
leaving the building behind was like almost like leaving a patient behind. It felt funny to leave. It felt like I was abandoning it almost.
I had quite an experience on moving day. I was on call, and I was doing a surgical procedure on a child who was very sick and needed surgery in the middle of the night. And in the meantime, one of my shunt patients came in who had a block shunt, and he was quite sick. Finished surgery around 4. I saw him in the emergency room. I got in the ambulance. I rode with him over here to the new facility, and we operated on his shunt. And then I did the last surgical procedure in the old hospital, and I did the first one in the new hospital.
I remember being surprised at how organized it was for as many patients as we had to move, as many families and all that kind of thing, how smoothly it went and how quickly it went. And being very proud that we've been able to orchestrate that effort and be able to do that for our patients.
But we were prepared for all day, big move. And in a couple of hours it was done. It was so efficient, it went so smoothly. I think everybody, it was almost a letdown because we were all just geared up for a whole day, and then boom, we were finished, and it went so smoothly. We were all impressed with ourselves.
But it went amazingly well, and again, I credit all the people that were involved in that, and Carrie, who was the one that oversaw it.